Hey everybody, it's TF Not. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another action figure review. This time it's going to be of the Kaiyodo Revoltech figure complex, Amazing Yamaguchi, My Hero Academia, Izuku Midoriya. I reviewed the Bakugo a while ago, and I pre-ordered this figure here after reviewing that because I was very excited for the re-release of this, and I missed out on the first time, and now I have the re-release one, so I'm glad I have it. I hope they re-release all mine. I'm dumb for passing up on that. But I have the Figmas of Deku as well as Bakugo, and they don't really cut it anymore. I'm glad I have this new one here. So far, Kaiyodo and Revoltech stuff has been pretty okay with me. Not super duper impressive, but hopefully this one here, I had a few problems with Bakugo that kind of irked me. Hopefully this one here is a little bit better. I've heard there's actually some improvements with this one here compared to the new one. Just some minor improvements with joints and whatnot. I could be wrong. But anyway, let's just go ahead and talk about the package because there's a lot to talk about. Top half, figure complex, Amazing Yamaguchi, powered by Revoltech. The figure on the side there on the left, you can see the figure in the box with some of the contents there. Bottom half, it says Izuku Midoriya, Kaiyodo, a bunch of other stuff in the bottom, as well as series number 18, sculpted by Yamaguchi Katsushi. I have no idea if I said that right, but cool that they named the sculptor here. And we have My Hero Academia, and then on this side, a lot of stuff you already saw with Izuku Midoriya, My Hero Academia, and Amazing Yamaguchi. But we have some other images of the figure, as well as it says Smash throughout the whole box. On this side, again, another image of the figure there, looking really nice, and some other stuff we already read off, like My Hero, as well as Izuku. On top here, this is actually an image of Deku from the anime there, but a bunch of other stuff we already have read off. And on the bottom here, you have a frame of All Might and Deku together, and a bunch of other stuff here. Actually, a phone number, I believe, for Kaiyodo, and then we have the barcode in case you need it. And then on the back here, lots of stuff going on. This is crazy. So, top half is just a bunch of different accessories and ways to pose this figure. And then on the bottom half, it tells you it comes with 3 types of faces as well as 8 eye parts. And then you can see a whole list of the option parts there and whatnot. So let's go ahead and get this figure out of the packaging. So here's Deku out of the packaging. Pretty nice figure. I have a few minor issues overall, but I do think I like this one a little bit more than the Bakugo. It's a pretty decent figure. Let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories, then we'll take a close look at the figure. Here's the instruction booklet. Again, if you're going to get this, I recommend reading it. It shows you how to use certain accessories as well as show off the different eye parts and whatnot. So I definitely don't have every accessory shown here. I just skipped this time frame timestamp if you want to just get to the nitty gritty of the figure because I have a feeling this might take a while. But just showing off a few right here, right now. I want to go over the eyes first. These actually look pretty well done. And what I forgot to mention, I don't know if I corrected myself in the Bakugo review. Not every single eye is sculpted exactly the same. So not every eye is compatible with every face. Same thing here. This is the one that kind of started, I guess. Maybe it started with some of the previous figures in the Amazing Yamaguchi line, not entirely sure. But basically, there's more rounded eyes here on the right side. Like, nope, not that one, sorry. This one here, the happier face, as well as the stern face, those eyes are compatible. Left side, as you can see, they're more indented to look angrier, so they're going to work with this face more. We also have the pin that's in there. And that actually can be held with this right hand here, which we're going to go ahead onto the hands. All of these hands are molded in this off-white type of paint. It's a little bright, but I feel like some of the paint is, like, there's some excess paint on there, which, I mean, the sculpting's great, but actually maybe there's not excess paint. I could be wrong. Maybe in between the knuckles, but that's not too noticeable. Now, we also have this hand here. This is actually meant for holding the book, which I'll show off in a second. So this actually looks cool. You can also maybe use this if he wants to grab a part of his hood or his mask or whatnot. There's also some lines and stitching on his thumb there. Here's the book. I know I'm kind of going out of order, but I want to show off this cool book that has some notes on Kamui Woods, as well as some writing. And then there is the front. So that's really cool. You can use this with other characters if you wanted to as well. All right, back to the hands. We have the finger flicking hands there. Very, very cool, because he likes to do that. I remember that in the training, the tournament arc. That was lit. But we have 2 of each here, so that's really cool. And then we do have, he calls packaged with fists, but we have a pair of these posed, clenched, somewhat clenched hands here. So that's cool. You can kind of see the palms on the inside as well. I already kind of covered these, but here's what we get. You can see these little freckles or whatnot. But it comes to the different faces. We have the angrier face with the eyebrows there, as well as the happier face. Both these I think came out really nice. The ears are pretty good too. This is what the inside looks like. If you can see, it might be a little too weird to see. I'll take this one instead. Basically, there are letters. That way they're upright, as you can see here. That lets you know how they're supposed to be inserted because sometimes I would try to insert these upside down. So just a fair bit of warning there. We also have this tool here for getting out some of the faces. What I like to do, actually, very carefully, this little tool right here, if you can't go like underneath and grab it, which sometimes you can, I feel like you'll bend something on accident. No, I'll ever so slightly push on the white of the eye, and then that should pop out a lot easier. So, yeah, that's kind of spooky, isn't it? What else is there? I'll talk about some of the stuff that's in the tray still in a second, but we have this alternate hair piece when he's using full cowling with some translucent green effects on there. Some nice bright green and the dark green sculpt on there. Looking very good. And we also have this stand piece here, as you can see. Now we have two stands this time, if you remember. I'll show them off in a second. If you remember Bakugo stands, we have two of them. One for the figure and the other one for the cutouts. And then you have the word bubbles here. That one's a pretty nice plastic cutout. And then you just attach this head onto the extra base so it can float and look like Deku is saying or mumbling something. As well as we have two different smash effects. We have one that's more orange-ish, and then we have a yellowish one. So very cool stuff. Give me a second to get the tray. So just to show you really quick, I have 8 actually. I didn't realize they're all pretty much the exact same. Well, not really. So 4 on each side here, left and right are the exact same. These 4 are the same. These 4 are the same, but these 2 are different, of course. That's what I'm trying to say. But lots of repeating effects pieces for full cowling up here as well. These pieces, I don't know exactly which parts. There's holes throughout this whole figure, actually. I don't know where exactly some of these will go. I have to find out. But we also have a pinkish, reddish, or purplish type of effects piece as well. And as you can see, I'm just going to pull one of these out just because taking a look at every single one of these is going to be a bit of a hassle. There's a little peg hole, as you can see right there. I'm trying to focus up here. Yeah, a little peg hole right there. So a lot of those, I have a feeling that they could be kind of getting lost. But it's cool that we get a lot of those. And now we have 2 of these, which I already mentioned. These are 2 of the bases that come with Amazing Yamaguchi figures. So that's cool. If you don't want to... I mean, one of these is for the cutouts. If you don't want to use them for the cutouts, sometimes you can just use them for another figure in a collection. That's cool, though. But again, you'll just take this head onto one of the ends here and plug it onto there. It's a hexagonal shape with a lot of holes, so the bendable neck, like a lot of imports, as well as a clamp right there. So lots and lots of accessories. So I think this Deku looks pretty good. I think it's close enough to, the anime counterpart. Part of me, I don't know, part of me thinks the Figma might have done it a little bit better. And I think, though, like when it comes to how it looked in the anime, I think Bakugo's has done a little bit better. But this was the first My Hero figure that was made by, in the Amazing Yamaguchi line. So I can give it a pass. I mean, it's undoubtedly Deku and probably his best outfit so far, I think. And it looks very good. So the face sculpt here looks really nice. The eyes that he came packaged with came through very nice and clean. You can see a little bit of like some light that they painted into his pupils right there. So that's kind of cool there. The different shades of green. It's just mostly one brighter shade on a darker sculpted plastic of green. That's what the back of the neck joint looks like, which is a bit exposed, so it is a bit ugly to me. But, I mean, you can just push that down, and it's hidden. I had it pushed up because sometimes the mask likes to, push up a tiny bit if the mask likes to get in the way of his face. Speaking of the mask, it looks really good. Nice silver paint going on there with some black details on the these little holes on the mouth. And you have his hood right there. which has some nice lines, a little bit of wrinklage in the sculpt. I think it's still painted, and there could be some paint variation. There's a black splotch right there, which is not great for $80. You know, not super happy about that. That included shipping from Amiami. So it was really like $60, like 65. The black on the eye holes, though, came through fine. You know, you're not going to be wearing anything. You know, you don't have an alternate head for this guy, is what I mean. So that's fine if they're blacked out. Again, I can't tell if there's any different shading of green going on here. There's something weird. You can see that shiny part there on the stomach. I don't know what's going on there, but the black and the green came through very nice. Some nice wrinkles, nice line going on the side here. Part of me thinks that the way that this is just applied isn't super amazing, but it looks fine for now. You know, where the off-white is, and then you can notice lots of holes in different parts of him on his hands, the back, and the back of the arms, as well as towards the legs. Those are all for the different effects pieces to insert there. Okay, so this is on here pretty well, but this here is not. So this hand wants to pop off a little. It's not doing it right now, of course. This all wants to pop off too easily. And this doesn't really want to pop out at all. Of course, you're actually supposed to remove it from... This does not want to come out. But where the ball hinge goes into the hand, that's where you want to remove it. So that's going to be a bit of a problem for me when I'm trying to do alternate accessories if that keeps happening. I'm not entirely sure why that's giving me that much trouble. But that's something to keep in mind. So this is like... I mean, this is not as bad as the loose grenade arms for Bakugo. But this is the second Kaiyodo figure I've owned that has a similar problem like this. It's a bit minor, I'll admit, but it still can be kind of annoying. But the belt came through pretty nice. Nice red with some, I want to say, very dark gunmetal type of paint that they use for the buckle there. All these red pouches looking good. They have a serial printing, and actually no, that's just the way the plastic sculpt. That's very prominent. You see that? It looked like some kind of paint decal printing on there, but that is just sculpt on there. It's a little distracting. Oh well. I think they legally have to do that. We do have some wrinkles. Just these little nubs going up into the legs are a little weird. But I don't know. I'm not going to complain too much. They haven't. This one kind of gets in the way, but actually no. I'm afraid about rubbing might happen. Oh, I didn't realize these can shimmy a little bit. But this is a softer plastic crotch piece that probably won't get in the way. So that's good. We have some nice wrinkles on the side with a long black streak there. And then we get down to the thigh highs, which is what I call them. I don't really know what else you're supposed to call them. But these came out really nice. I like how they're sculpted. They definitely feel like, look like a different piece is sculpted and maybe a glued or applied onto there. And then we do have some yellow on the knees. There's not much detail. It's just a matte black paint with some wrinkles on the sides, as you can see on the legs. Those are the back of the joints look like. They're very smooth, and glossy looking compared to the rest of it. So that could be a little distracting to me. Not really. We get down here to the boots. These came out nice. The nice laces of the yellow there, the black, and you can see some of the metal for the hinge there. Those laces again came out nice. The red on the boots are really good too. That's what the bottom of the shoe looks like. Looking, I think, very cool. That's what that side of that shoe looks like. Some lines going on the back here. And then, I didn't mention there was some blue up here for his arms. There's a lot more colors than just green and white and red. There's black and there's yellows and whatnot. Very minor, different colors all around for Deku's outfit. This thing. So I think it's detailed really nice, and I don't think it. I think I've said this in the Bakugo review, is that they take it's their own interpretation on certain characters, like with Deadpool, Captain America, whatnot for the Kaiyodo line. But this very much could fit also with that. I think art style for my hero. I think it looks very close enough. But there's just not really design choices, but a few things here and there. I'm just like, eh. Mostly, this just bugs me, this being loose. But the rest of this, I think, looks very fantastic. Lots of articulation going on here. I mentioned this head system here. There's two different ball pegs going on here. It can shimmy up and up here. Look at how long that could be. The shimmy down here, of course, and that allows it to go up really high and down really far too. And you can tilt a little bit. There's also a separate joint going into the body there, as you can see. So it can swivel, and it just has a lot of range of motion. There is this weird kind of cut here that's a bit of a butterfly joint. I think this one's a little tighter, but there's also a ball joint going in here, so it helps with that movement a little bit more. And then actually the problem I have is going in and out. It's very stiff on both sides. You just have to be very careful when you lift it up, and I have a feeling that there could be paint rubbing of green onto the off-white. That would be very disappointing. I have not had that yet, but I'm going to be very careful before doing that. This is a little bit more spaced out than this one, though. And then we do have a swivel going on all the way in here. There's just a lot of swiveling going on. Lots of great engineering for the articulation. Swivel here, it's a single joint, but that bends pretty well. There's also a swivel at this part of the forearm. You do have a swivel. This piece will move. Swivel here, and then a hinge, and then you can make it go up and down as well. Of course, again, that is going to bug me. I might have to heat that up or something. Swivel it here, too. Ball joint waist goes all the way around like this, back, side to side, forward. A little bit same here, too. Just not as good. Actually, I'd say almost just as good, actually. I was probably not doing something right. But this actually just allows for a lot of range of motion, as you can see. So, lots of nice swiveling going on. The swivel, like left and right, is what's more tight here than at the ribs and whatnot, or chest. The T-joint, I feel like it wants to drop down a little bit, but that's as far out as it goes for me. It's not, not super great for me. And then in and out, you can maybe do a drop down with the legs. I actually have no idea if there's a drop down method, but they go out pretty well. They have these weird T-joint, like cut swivels here that are kind of angled, so they swivel like this. I'm afraid for paint rubbing too, but it's all generally the same color, so not super bummed about that. There is really no thigh swivel where I thought there would be, like right here, but there is one here at the knee. Single joint knee bends that far, looking really good. And then we do get a swivel here at this part of the leg, which actually has a lot of range of motion. There's like a ball joint going on there, so you can make it bend pretty well. We do have a swivel at the shoe here. This is a separate piece right here. It goes down like so, and up like so. And then we do have ankle rockers as well as toe hinge. Lots and lots of articulation on this. So quick size comparisons from left to right. Far left, that's McFarlane Toys All Might. Don't have the amazing Yamaguchi one yet. I really need to. But it's pretty big compared to both Kaiyodo figures I have here. Right next to him on the left, that is the Bakugo I previously reviewed, which I have no idea how tall he's supposed to be compared to Deku in the anime, but I feel like he might be a little too tall. Could be completely wrong, though, and this is an accurate size. But on the right is going to be the Figma Deku. That's the Season 1 look, basically. It's a little bit shorter than the one in the middle. And then far right is Marvel Legends Retro Spidey, which is a little bit taller. So overall, very pleased with this figure. I really dig it a lot more than I thought I was going to. I was excited, but I had a little bit of middled expectations because the Bakugo for me was a pretty good figure, but there were some things about it that kind of irked me. Not as many things irking me here with this figure, but I don't think it's super accurate to how it looks in the anime compared to Bakugo. I think that was spot on, but I think it's close enough here as well. Like, I would say like 80 to 90% likeness, but I mean, it's Deku. Come on, it's undeniably Deku. There's lots of really nice accessories that come with this figure. I have that problem with my right wrist joint. That's really the only major quality control defect, except for maybe a couple paint splotches here and there, which if this is an imports figure, it's going to be much more expensive. I do think it should be, not have as many of those problems. But articulation, sculpt, accessories, again, very well done. It's a very fun figure to own in your collection. If you're a My Hero fan, you like articulated figures, then definitely pick this one up. It was re-released recently. I got mine for, including the shipping from Amiami, $80 altogether, maybe a little less. So, yeah, there's some other avenues you can go to in order to get this figure. I'll leave them down in the description below. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Comment down below what you think about the figure, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends. Follow me on Instagram for more content over there, and I'll see you guys later.